Hi, this is Julliette Salter. Thank you for watching this morning. We are here in my studio, which is not, as you can see in the background, exactly the way we want it yet. But today we are painting on glass. And doing that, I use, my favorite is folk art. And on the top it has glasses on it, see? Like a little wine glass, so you know that it's good. It's enamel paint. Now they have come out with some more different multi-surface that they say is just as good, and they seem to be. So I use all different kinds of paints, but that's my favorite. And if you can see this in the background, maybe put some white behind it. This is a platter that is done with hibiscus on it. And we also have wine glasses. You can paint vases, whatever. This is a wine glass that I did for Jim's 65th birthday party. And as you can see, it has the date and his name on the back, which is backwards maybe to you. But anyway, they were given as a gift to everybody that attended. Now, this is a cute little martini glass. See the little hibiscus on it? So you can paint on virtually anything. I even got this at Everything's a Dollar or Dollar Store, whatever it's called. Anyway, and I painted on it. It had a cute little flower at the bottom. It just snaps off. And this is good for poolside or for the beach or whatever because it's plastic, see? So anyway, you can paint on anything. Actually, occasionally, my husband says I might paint on him if he stood still long enough. So, and I hadn't done that yet. But I want to tell you that it's all about practice. Now, I'm going to try to do a big one on this so you can see it, and then I will paint it on glass, okay? So we're going to do this with a pretty, this is called lipstick red, and I'm going to put some white with it. Now, see in the brush, I have lipstick red and white. And this you can't see, so I'm going to have to lift it up here. This is what I use for a palette. These I get from that same dollar store, and I usually cover them with Glad wrap. Well, today I was out of it, so I had to use an oven bag, and it's not working quite as well. But it will do it a pinch, as you might say. Okay, so dip in the red, in the white, and then we're going back and forth to work it into our brush. Now, when you start a hibiscus, you want to give yourself a star to start with. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's the points that you want to come into every time you make a petal. Now, this is really easy, but all it literally takes is practice. You know, Bob Ross said in one of his videos, the difference between somebody just starting out that doesn't have the confidence to paint well is practice, and somebody that does. So if you will lead with your white, your lightest color, whatever it is, whether it's white or something else, and you touch here, see how I'm touching the canvas? And I am pressing, and I am swiggle, 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 and lifting up and pulling back to the center. Isn't that a pretty petal? See how easy it is? So I'm putting, each time I reload my brush, I work it up and down, and then I lead with my lightest color, whatever it is. So I am touching, pressing, swiggle, 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 lift, and I come back to the center. So we now have 2 petals. So now I am doing the same thing, lifting with the paint. I am reloading, and now we're going to do it again. So touch, press, swiggle, 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 and bring it back to the center. And since we have 5 of them, I have 2 more. And it's the same thing. Just remember, touch, press, swiggle, 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 and bring it back into the center. See how easy that is? Thank you all for watching this morning. I see your names flashing up in front of me, and I really appreciate that. So if you would touch, press, swiggle, 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 lift, and back up. And I'm doing this on this canvas just so that it makes it easier for you to see today. So now, I have a wonderful friend in Colorado, Genevieve, that cuts paper towels in half for me. But since this COVID has come around, COVID-19, I am going back to using old t-shirts that I've cut in squares, and you can throw them back in the washing machine. I usually let them dry first before I do it, so you don't have any excess paint in your washing machine. Okay, so now I'm going in the green. I have a moss green. Yeah, I believe that's what it's called. Forest moss. And then this is Thicket. Love Thicket. Have used it for years. But this is the first time I've used this moss green, but it's a pretty color. So now, since moss green is my lightest color and Thicket is my darkest, I'm going to start with that, with the moss. And see how I'm touching? Now I'm going to make the same stroke, but I'm going to end it different. So I am swiggle, 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 and I'm pulling out, lifting it up. See? Now, I want this to be, I want to make the other side of this leaf here. Okay, so now I need to reload my brush. Remember, you load every single time you do this. So I am touching, I'm coming out here, and I started with my dark color. We can't do that, right? We got to start with the light. So I'm wiping that off, and now I'm going back in. Nothing wrong with my nerves, huh? So, and I have done this, I can't tell you how many times. And I'm swiggle, 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 and I lift. And I still did it with my dark. So what I'll do is make both of these like that. So it will actually make it look like the light is reflecting off of here and there. See, off this side of the petal and there. And so now I'm going to come in, do this again. And I have my brush loaded. And I'm going to do this one the same way since I want them to match. So I'm touching here. I'm swiggle, 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 and lift. And now I'm reloading my brush, same way. And I'm working it like this. And I am touching. Now this one I want to start with the darker color since I did it before like that. So I am touching, pressing, swiggle, swiggle, swiggle. Then I'm lifting. Now I'm going to take the chisel edge of my brush, right? The chisel edge. And I am going to come down it like this, and it gives me a line, a vein down the middle of that. Now, if you prefer, you can actually use a liner brush, see, like this, and come down it. That makes a beautiful one. This is actually a Sherry roll brush, and Sherry works mostly in oils, so she would probably not be happy that I'm using it for acrylics, but she's a really nice person, so. And if you ever get a chance to take a class from her, please do. She's fantastic. So I am cleaning this brush. Now, you do not want to leave your brushes in water. If you do, one day you will go to maybe wipe some paint off of it, and you'll do like this, and you'll end up with the ferrule and the brush in one hand and the handle in another. Well, if you do that, then you add some glue to it, put it back in there and let it set for a couple of days. My granddaughter said for me to name this Tips, Tricks, and Techniques. And I think the little things that we learn like that are very helpful. Now, see how much of a hibiscus we have here? We're going to add the stamen. So I'm going to take a little bit of the green, the lighter green, and I'm going to come in. Let's see, I want it to go this way. So I'm going to, can you see here? Yeah. I'm going to make a C here, see it? That's the throat of my hibiscus, where the stamen is going to come out of that. So now I am making the stamen come like this. Can you see that? Let's see. I sure hope you can. Can you see that? Okay, I sure hope. All right, so now I clean that brush, and I use a stylus. Of course, this morning I was in a hurry and I couldn't find my stylus. But see this pen? I think I got this at one of the dollar stores, and yellow does not show up well. So I use this. I mean, whatever works for you, right? So now I'm just barely touching it in the yellow, and that's what I'm going to use for my pollen on this. And I'm all about odd numbers now. Now, can you see that? So that's, you can leave it like that, but you know, I believe in having values, so you need 3 different shades, light, medium, and dark. And so you always pull up the background color, and so then we have the yellow, and now I'm going to put just a tiny bit of white on that. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you can in person when you look at it. And so I will show it to you. I don't know if you can see that white on there or not. But we have completed a hibiscus. Now, I want to show you, I'm going to set this aside over here. As you see, I have plenty of glasses to paint on around here. I actually, I think I told you that though, got that plastic and painted on it. This is the wine glass that my niece sold a lot of for me. And her idea was that if you have a party, you give each person, this is a heavy glass, this isn't crystal. And if you have a party, then what you do is give each person a different hibiscus color. And you tell them, now remember what color your hibiscus is on your glass, and they'll never lose their glass. It's like trying to remember what a ring is around it, right? So it worked well. So this is a good seller if you can get them painted and get them ready. Now I'm going to do red and a bright orange today just to show it up well, so that you will be able to see the difference in them. And so now remember what we did before. So anybody that wasn't here before can see it. So we are touching. I'm going to put some paper inside of it. Paper towel there. So now, yeah, hopefully you'll be able to see it. And you always lead with your lighter color. Touch, 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 and touch. So you have 5 points coming out here. And what you're using those points for is to guide you into where you want your petal to go. So right now, I am touching, I am pressing. See my brush press? Swiggle, 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 and lift up. And isn't that a pretty petal? Now we have one done. I'm getting more paint. I'm working it in, remember? And now I'm going to do this one. So I am leading with my lighter color. Touch, press, swiggle, 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 and lift back up right there. Now, didn't that make a really pretty petal? See how easy this is? You can make a lot of different flowers with this one particular stroke. Now, like I said, I do have a packet, or kind of a brochure for sale with this class, and I'll have this on DVD, or you can actually watch it here or on YouTube when I get it there. So, touch, press, swiggle, 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 lift, and come back. Now, remember, you can use any colors that go with your decor, if that's what you're after. Or you can use each one different. Now, I'm leading with the lighter color, so I'm touch, swiggle, 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 lift, and back up. Now, while I'm loading my brush back up, and I want to show you what I'm doing for you that weren't here earlier. See, I am touching in the orange here, and I'm touching in the red over here. So I'm going back and forth, and see how I'm working that in that brush? But I want to keep that brush loaded. So here I go, and I'm leading with the lighter color. So I am touch, swiggle, 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 lift, and bring it back to the center. Now see your hibiscus that you have there? Now we want to, and of course when you are painting a glass, you might want to put a hibiscus bud over here, maybe some stems down here, some leaves, however you want yours to be designed. And I'd love to see pictures of them after you do them, if you don't mind sending them to me. So now I am using the green, and of course I ran out. So one thing, see I'm using, these are bottles, okay? And this is Folk Arts multi-surface, but it can be used on glass also. You usually have a plastic top on them, and if you twist it against the way you open the bottle, it will come off in your hand. Just a little trick there. Now, I'm putting a little more of this down here. Thank you all for watching today. That means a lot to me. I can see your names coming up all over the place, and I really appreciate that. We'll have another class Saturday at 1 p.m., not a.m., 1 p.m., and we will do a Bob Ross painting then. If y'all would like to tune in, I'd sure appreciate it. So I am using the green, the moss green and the thicket. And like I said, these are Folk Art. So now I'm coming here, and I am going to touch, press, and I'm swiggling 3 times, but I'm going out with it. And see what a difference just that one stroke makes? So, did I do that? Yeah, back there. So now I'm putting, always add paint to your brush. So touch, press, swiggle, 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 and lift it up. And see what a pretty leaf that makes? Now we have a chisel edge here. So I am going to touch and press and lift. How do you like that, huh? Now, let's put one over on this side. And now I'm going to do it the same. I like to balance them out some. I know they can go any direction, but, you know. After you do a few of these, then you'll get an idea exactly how you want yours to look. So, right in here, I'm going to lead with my light color. No matter what color it is, lead with that light color. All right, so I'm touching, pressing, swiggle, swiggle, swiggle. And I'm coming to a point. Now, always remember, put more paint in your brush and work it into your brush. So, I'm touching. Now, I want to bring this back this way some. So, look at that. And see, that's one of those things that you don't want to happen. So, what's this? It's amazing what you can accomplish with just your fingertip. Now, much better. So I am wiping this, and I am going to touch this, leading with my lighter color, and I'm just using that chisel edge to make that vein out. And of course, you can do that with your liner brush just fine. So we have that. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush, because what I say earlier, you don't want to leave paint in your brush, because that will absolutely ruin it. You have a better chance leaving oil in your oil brushes than you do with acrylics. Now, I want to tell you something else that I do, and that is to use old t-shirts. I cut them up because right now paper products are at a rarity. I have these left over from when Genevieve cut these in Colorado. I had some left over because it's difficult to find paper products right now. Okay, so now we're going to put that, remember the C I told you about? Well, this time I am going to make it go in the opposite direction. And see how that makes this side look much stronger than the other side? It makes it look like it is coming up on that side. Isn't that pretty? So now we're going to bring the stamen out from it. Now, after I do this, I want to go back and put a little of that red in to soften that stroke because it was a little predominant and that's not exactly what we wanted. So see how I soften that? And always you have your light source and your orange is what is highlighting right now. So we're putting that on top of the very edge of the stamen there. Can you see that? I hope so. Anyway, so now we're going to take the yellow and instead of using, I think I'm going to use that pen. I just like the way it works. So remember, we're back to the pen again. And now we're sticking, just barely touching it in the yellow. And this is our stamen that's coming out here. We're putting our pollen on it. I may be using the wrong terminology here, but it's what I've always called it. And you can put as many of these as you want. I just like odd numbers. Oh, too much paint. Okay, and see the yellow on it there? Yeah, I almost got out of the shot there. Can you see it over there? Okay, good, thank you. All right, now I'm going to make sure I touch my finger with everything. I can draw a straight line with my finger as long as it's touching like this. And don't do that because you see I just messed up the petal. And I'll show you how to fix that, or the leaf. Now we're going to put a little white on here. Just to give it another dimension. There we go. Okay, now, that's looking, I think, pretty good. I hope you like it. Now, I am going to get a smaller brush here, wet it. Always prepare your brushes by wetting them first. And then we want to take some of this moss, forest moss, and we're going to just bring that in there. Wow, look, I almost did it all. Now, we're going to come here, and we're going to bring it up like that, and then we're going here. I like that so much, I'm going to add a little back petal here, put a little bit of this darker in it right here, that thicket. And it's going to bring that leaf full around. What do you think, huh? All right, let me show you. I really hope you like this. This is easy to do, and everybody you know will want one of your glasses that's a hibiscus glass. As you notice, I wore a hibiscus shirt today. So if you would, Saturday at 1 p.m., I'm doing a Bob Ross class. And if you would tune in and like and share, I would really appreciate that. I will also have these on YouTube that you can tell people about. But please, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day filled with lots of laughs and laughter and lots of love. Bye. If I only knew, oops, that didn't work well. Let's see if I